Warning, before anyone says anything about this being an exposure video, keep in mind this is not intended to be an exposure video. This is more like not a call out, but more like just a warning, if you get my gist. So, with that being clear, let's get into this. Hello everyone, it's me, Frank again. As the title of this video suggests, Autumn and I will be talking about a specific user formerly known as Blue Mountain and Failing, and now known as Ozark Productions. Basically, here's why Autumn and I did this collab. I met him when he was still Blue Mountain and Failing a month or two ago, maybe a month and a half. And basically, it's a long, painful story about what happened between me and him, and also him trying to drag Autumn into it. So, here's how it began. Okay, so the story begins about a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months. It all started when GamerDude4987 left the filming crew for Sunset Daylight Studios' Roblox series, Tales of the Southwest Rails. At the time, the planned special was going to be about my character, Frank, and possibly introducing Autumn's character as well, in a special titled The T-54, which was planned to come out after the next episode, Episode 5, which will be the Season 1 finale. After GamerDude4987 left the crew, the T-54 was put on hold indefinitely until we could either find a new director or just decide to do a different special entirely, which, as suggested, the latter option was what was chosen, though I'm not going to spoil any of the plot in this video. Anyways, back to the story. I met Blue Mountain and Failing in the comments section of the trailer of what was supposed to become the T-54. He wanted to revive the movie as his own Train Z special. I was like, okay, let me get this to Beox Boots. So I did. Me and Beox Boots met Ozark, then known as Blue Mountain and Failing, on Discord. At the time, we were just coming up for a new train Sona for him after his previous one, which is unknown, supposedly a Berkshire of some sorts. Yeah. In the end, we ultimately decided that Ozark's train Sona would be my brother, Eric, or Frisco 1528. What happened after that was, after a bit of minor drama broke out in his server, Ozark supposedly was going to overdose on some sort of medicine or Tylenol or something. I forget what it was. And that was when crap started hitting the fan. I decided to introduce him to my best friend Autumn in hopes that we could both calm him down and talk him out of it. Unfortunately, from what he said, he had already overdosed on the Tylenol, and we thought it was all over for him. But luckily, from what he said, he didn't take enough to actually be killed, only to black out. So that was the end of that story. But the full story is just beginning, unfortunately. Over the next few weeks, Ozark and I got to know each other better, and so did he and Autumn. In fact, we were all friends at first. I invited Ozark to Beox Boots' ARMD server, but unfortunately, little did I know, he is an overly dramatic person. I hate saying that about him, but it's true. I mean, some of the jokes he made in the server were so edgy that it scared a lot of us to our wits' end. And practically, he seemed to start drama for no reason in the servers at all. Yet for some reason was nice only to me and Autumn. So, I kind of decided to coax him a little bit about that, and explain to him that starting drama unnecessarily like that was not healthy and not good for the community. He said he would try to control himself, but sadly, that never fruitioned. And later, I would come to know why specifically it didn't fruition. Okay, I don't mean to start a flame war with what I'm about to say, but Ozark kinda has a bit of a rivalry with Pacific Productions. I will not explain why, all I will say it has to do with the Minecraft Conrail. Yeah. That boy. Anyways, basically, what happened from what Pacific told me, like, Pacific and I are friends now, and he's also friends with Autumn before you ask, is that Ozark secretly made a false claim about me to Pacific Productions. He tried to say that I was formerly a pedophile, which, of course, before you ask, is not true at all. That is something I, in my right mind, would not do at all. So, as you'd expect, I was mad as hell with Ozark. So, I went to question him about it, which coincidentally at the same time, he and Autumn were fighting about something. I don't know what, but I decided to question him. He had the nerve to say that Autumn had started a fight with him, but I know that's not Autumn's nature at all. The only time she really gets violent is if someone does something she doesn't like, or otherwise they start an argument. So, I decided to question him about the lie he made to Pacific. He denied it. You heard me. He tried to claim that he did nothing wrong and that I was making crap up. And practically, yeah, we eventually both calmed down after a while, and so did Autumn, but we really got nowhere with that. After the fact, I basically tried to comfort Autumn, and I'll be honest, she was pretty livid, and at this point she was starting to lose her trust with Ozark. And the reason why is pretty self-explanatory, but when Autumn and I discussed doing this video, she said she wanted her part of the story for last, so keeping her promise, you'll hear what she has to say later in this video. Anyways, fights like this would continue for a good while. What happened on the last day of our friendship, which wasn't too long ago, actually, everything went wrong. And I actually have evidence to prove all this, so to start things off, he was supposedly being beat up by his parents. And not only that, but his sister was pretty much crying or something in her room. And from what he said, they were having a feud lately. And for that reason, she didn't want to help him. And another thing too, he was secretly using his Chromebook. And I was like, wait, wouldn't your parents see your Chromebook? And he was like, I'm hiding it. And then I'm like, you can't hide a Chromebook that big. I mean, what? Closing it so your parents wouldn't see it? They'd probably still see it. And then, that's when he openly admitted it. Because when things started not making any sense to me, it all made sense after he said what you're about to see. Now keep in mind, these are going to go by a little fast, so you're more than welcome to pause and read the conversation if you wish. had all of that right. It turned out Thomas was faking the suicide all along, just because he never liked me from day one, or Autumn for that matter, and he wanted to end our friendship in the sickest way possible. That, my friends, is sadistic, in my personal opinion. And this message was what he said the following day. And my personal opinion is that if he lied to me about the suicide, how can I trust him now? And another thing, look closely at what Ozark's message said. He said he didn't take his meds on purpose. Because keep in mind, Ozark is actually schizophrenic. And because of that, he has to take medicine to keep himself in line. Except, he didn't want to take his medicine. He did it on purpose. And, honestly, in a later message, he indeed said that he liked the feeling of being that crazy. And I'm being honest here. I can only imagine what it's like to be crazy, because I only know one other person who has been that crazy in my life. But that's a story for another day. Anyways, going back to the part where I mentioned Autumn, and how Ozark made her feel, here's what she has to say about that.
Hello, my friends, it is Autumn K from YouTube. And another thing about this Ozark Productions dude as well, yeah, I'm pretty freaked out of him, but the most reason that I'm concerned is because 2 weeks after me and Ozark met, he told me he had a crush on me. Now, before anyone asks, Ozark's my age, okay, in case anyone's thinking he's older than me, he's not. He's my age, so it's kind of good, but at the same time, really bad. Reason why I say it's kind of good, because it's not like pedo stuff, dare I say. But, like I was saying before, and here's my screenshot to prove it. I actually screenshot it, because reason why is because I thought it was nice, but until I told him that, I wasn't open, that's when things started going downhill, as much as I hate to say it, because I didn't really have a crush on him. And besides, that was literally 2 weeks after I met this kid. Dude, I would wait 5 months or so before I finally decide if I like this person or not. But yeah, this really freaked me out. And I'm gonna admit, I actually flipped out at him, as embarrassed as I am to say. Another thing that also bothered me about Ozark was forcing me and Frank, or trying to anyway, forcing me and Frank to keep secrets from each other. As in, there was this one sob story Ozark told us. Well, told Frank anyway. And Frank told me. And I had no knowledge of it until Frank told me. So, what basically happened was, he told Frank told me about Ozark claiming he had a friend that died. Now, a while back, I remember after confronting Ozark about this friend, Ozark said the weirdest thing. He said that I reminded him of her. I don't know how. Do not ask. I really don't know how. But basically, he told me that I was not supposed to know that, which really bothered the heck out of me, because, I want to know stuff too. I get some stuff is personal and that's okay, but when you tell one friend and you don't tell the other, that's what really hits you, instantly. I feel like there's a lot of distrust there between me, Frank, and Ozark. Meaning Ozark doesn't trust me, and Ozark doesn't trust Frank. And that's when my suspicions started to rise a lot. So I was pretty upset at that moment as well.
Well, there you have it, folks. Ozark made both Autumn and I very uncomfortable, and putting our trust strains to the limit with not only him, but in some cases with each other, surprisingly. And it's evident that upset Autumn quite a bit, and I was upset as well, since, you know me, I only speak the truth about things, and I hate it when people are dishonest. Since this whole incident went down a while back, Ozark has threatened to dox me, blackmail me, and a whole bunch of other things. He's even accused me of literally trying to seduce a 12-year-old, which that's not something I do at all. So yeah. And I'll be honest here. True friends don't say the wrong thing to help each other feel better. True friends are not dishonest with each other. And with Ozark pretty much trying to force Autumn and I to keep secrets from each other, that's just about as bad as telling your best friend to jump off a bridge. So yeah. In a nutshell, as a result of all this, the T-54 and anything related to the project is declared condemned and will not be reattempted in the future.